Hi everyone, it's Jules. Welcome to Jules Journals. This is going to be a mid-month reading recap and media, what I watched on TV and movies as well for October of 2024. So I'm going to do this fairly quickly. I have finished 2 books so far and both of those have been on audio. I'm in the middle of like 4 books right now, I think. But yes, and so the books I both finished, I liked both of them. This one I liked just a little bit more. This is the 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak. This is a book by a Turkish author, I believe, woman, and it bounces between the 13th century and modern day times. And in the 13th century, you're looking at the poet Rumi, which I have learned from reading this was an actual real person, so love a new learning experience. And in the 13th century, Rumi is finds a mentor or somebody that's inspiring to him. And then in the modern day time, you're seeing this woman who is struggling in her marriage, and she's using these teachings of love to help her to make some decisions. So I just wanted to read to you one of the 40 rules. I did this on audio, which was great. Both of these books were great on audio, but I realized I wanted to go back and highlight some things, so I'm working on that, and mainly the 40 Rules of Love, which I don't know if this author made those up or if those are if those are real. My brain today, I tell ya. Okay. And this is one that I was telling my husband about, and I could not remember what book it was in. Loneliness and solitude are 2 different things. When you are lonely, it's easy to delude yourself into believing that you are on the right path. Solitude is better for us, as it means being alone without feeling lonely. But eventually, it is best to find a person, the person who will be your mirror. Remember, only in another person's heart can you truly see yourself and the presence of God within you. I absolutely love that. I'm not a religious person, but I absolutely love that. Reading another one to you. Whatever happens in your life, no matter how troubling things might seem, do not enter the neighborhood of despair. Even when all doors remain closed, God will open up a new path only for you. Be thankful. It is easy to be thankful when all is well. A Sufi is thankful not only for what he's been given, but also for all that he's been denied. Love that as well. So just so many things here resonated for me. And the one about loneliness and solitude is my husband and I both like solitude. We don't like loneliness, but we appreciate our solitude. We both have quite a bit of it, with kids not living in the house, and we love both of us to do our own thing and have our own time by ourselves. But a lot of people view that weirdly, like we're weirdos, but we're both introverts and we like our solitude. So that one just spoke to me, and I'm going to leave that open so I can send a screenshot to my husband. The other one is Educated by Tara Westover, and this was a book club pick, and I did enjoy this. Warning, it does have some abuse in here, so trigger warnings for that, so it's kind of hard to read based on that. But this is a woman this is a true story. This is her memoir, growing up in Idaho, and she's in a Mormon family that lives off-grid, and it's very troubling. Some of the things are troubling, and some of the things are like, aw, and kind of appreciating the way they're living as well, but then bounces between those 2 things, and then her kind of coming out of that as an adult, and her journey as an adult out of the Mormon faith and into some other things that she's doing. So I really did enjoy this. I'd probably give this a 4-star. I don't like rating memoirs. I just feel that's weird. But the 40 Rules of Love, I would give a 5-star. So I do recommend this on audio, and both of those were great. All right, books I'm currently reading. I am finally getting into My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. And this is I think it's called the Neapolitan Quartet. There's 4 books in the series. I do have them. I ordered this copy from the UK because the American cover is crap. And I'll post a photo here because this book was named the #1 book by the New York Times in the top 100 list for this century. I don't know why. It's okay. I'm just not finding anything brilliant about it. It's okay. I like it. But some people absolutely love this. So Maybe there's something yet to come, but I have maybe a couple hours, and in the audio, I'm doing the audio as well. Audio is great. I am glad I'm listening to this on audio because of the Italian pronunciations are done for me, so I don't have to think too hard about those. So that one, it's okay. The other two I'm reading physically, and this one is for our book club pick for October. This is Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. And in our book club, we give the person that's picking after us a theme for that month, and they have to pick within that theme. So it could be the color of the book, or there's a word in the book. My theme that was given to me, and I picked this book, was a book that takes place in a place that is on your bucket list to visit. And mine, one of them is Poland, because that is where my husband's family is from, Poland and the Ukraine. So I picked this book, and I'm not too far into it. I'm taking it slow. The writing's a little jarring, and I did flag some things. So this is, I think it's a woman who's, I think dead bodies that are going to start coming up around her. So you're going to wonder, does she have something to do with it? And then one of the things that got me a little confused in the beginning is their names for each other. So, but just a quote out of here: anger makes the mind clear and incisive, able to see more. It sweeps up the other emotions and takes control of the body. Without a doubt, anger is the source of all wisdom, for anger has the power to exceed any limits. I don't know that I agree with that, but I liked that. Another one here. Oh, this is the names and why they call each other, not by their first names. So, what a lack of imagination is to have official first names and surnames. No one ever remembers them. They're so divorced from the person and so banal. I'm not sure I know that word. And that they don't remind us of them at all. What's more, each generation has its own trends, and suddenly everyone's named Magdalena, Patrick, or God forbid, Janina. That's her name. That's why I try my best never to use first names and surnames, but prefer epithets that come to mind on their own accord the first time I see a person. The other thing I'm finding interested is, so like when she says I see a person, person is capitalized. Is that normal? There's weird capitalizations in here. So I'm enjoying it. I'm taking my time with it because it is a book club pick, and it's from a Polish author, so I want to give it my best foot forward. That doesn't make sense, but the other book I'm really, really, really enjoying, and it was written in the 60s, and it's a thriller horror book, and it's John Fowles The Collector. The pages are interesting because they are like almost like it was on a typewriter, and then there's a bunch of space at the bottom, bunch of space on the edges, or it was, I don't know why it's done that way. There's no chapters, which drives me nuts, but I'm doing okay with that. And this is about a man who kidnaps a woman and keeps her in his basement. And for some reason, you kind of like the man. He's weird, obviously. And I did highlight something in here. Oh, there were even times I thought I would forget her, but forgetting's not something you do, it happens to you. Only it didn't happen to me. So I'm enjoying this. I'm only like 25, 30 pages in, but I'm liking it. And this author died in 2005, and this was written in 1963. Apparently, I read somewhere that Stephen King did the intro for this for a Book of the Month pick in 1989. Has Book of the Month been around that long? I'm not sure. I'm really enjoying this. If you like thrillers, dark, twisty stuff, you would probably like this. Okay. Books I bought. I only have 3 so far this month in October, and I bought them just yesterday. And I bought this is actually our November book club pick. It's Into the Uncut Grass by Trevor Noah. It's a children's book. Actually, some say it's not really a children's book, but it is illustrated. So I love children's book, and it looks like the What's the Horse and the Mole book. It looks like that, and I guess it is kind of a tribute to that. So that is why it kind of looks like that book. And then I got Persepolis, And this has been on my wish list forever, and it is a graphic novel, and it's written by a woman in Iran, and it was on the banned book, what's the thing on the end of the bookshelves? End cap. And I was like, I'm going to pick it up. But the cover looks different, and it feels like a different... I thought it used to be a really thick graphic novel. I bet they split it up into 2 volumes because there was 2 there. Yeah, so this is on the banned book list, and it's a graphic novel written by a woman in Iran. How can I say no? And then another one, this came up at work, and it's Madeline. I got all like graphic novels, illustrated books. Yeah. So this is Madeline, and by Ludwig Bemelmans, and this is Marianne Satafi. Marianne. Horrible. I'm horrible with names and pronunciations. And this came up at work, and we were talking about it. She's like, "You've never read that? You've never seen the movie?" I'm like, "No, I don't even know what you're talking about." And then the Eiffel Tower's on it. Like, well, I gotta get it. So I got it, and I'm looking forward to it. And it takes place in Paris, so I'm sure I'm gonna love it. So those are the books I hauled. All right, now let's get into what I watched on TV. I'm just loving TV at the moment and movies, so, and I'm in my spooky season. So I've watched It Part 2, Conjuring 1 and 2, which I had never seen before and thought they were really gonna freak me out, but they didn't. Nothing has really freaked me out, so that's good. Salem's Lot, the new one. I don't remember what that's on. It might be Netflix or I don't know. Okay. Salem's Lot. Nobody Wants This, the Kristen Bell rom-com. And I don't normally like rom-coms, but I loved it. I binged it in one day, and now my husband is enjoying it as well. And it's hilarious. They have such good chemistry. I highly recommend that show. And then Yellow Jackets, I went back and watched the first season, so now I'm watching the second season, but I can only do like one of those episodes at a time because they're so heavy and dark, but I love that show. And then, that was like last week, or the week before, this last week, I watched all 6 Scream movies. They're all bad. I think the first one I liked just because it was such a shocking, different type of horror movie back in the day, but they're all really bad. And then, but I had a good time. And then Wolves with Brad Pitt and George Clooney, we really enjoyed it. And the third character in that is so good. I can see him being nominated for an Oscar for his performance. Will and Harper, the Will Arnett documentary with his friend that's transitioned, and they're kind of road trip across America. It was hard to watch in parts, but also very heartwarming as well, and I loved their friendship. Only Murders in the Building, we've started the new season of that. Wes Anderson shorts, so we watched the first one. So these were made like last year, or they got put on Netflix last year, and the friend at work told me about them, and they're shorts based on Roald Dahl's short stories. So we watched the first one. It's one of those where I'm like, I can't imagine watching 2 hours of this, but they're only 17 minutes, so I could handle that. But it's very fast moving scenes and dialogue. So I couldn't watch a whole movie like that, but I liked the 17 minutes, and I'm like, one's good, for right now. And then I wrote this down as one of my favorite movies so far this year is Cado Lake. I'm not sure. I'll pull something somewhere. And if you like the Netflix show Dark, that German show, you would probably like this. And that kind of tells you a little bit about what's happening in it. So that's a little spoiler. But I loved it. Give it like 45 minutes. I know that sounds like a long time for a movie, but then you'll be like, oh, I think twice I did that in the movie. Oh. And then I literally had to take notes in my phone because of something that's happening, and like drawing the red lines to who's who, and I was like, oh, and so highly recommend it. Great acting, great atmosphere. Takes place in like Tennessee or Louisiana, kind of like a Bayou, Ozark type feel, but Absolutely loved it. So I think that's all the movies. And then what I've done, we had book club. I stocked up on meat. I'm trying to eat more protein and less sugar, so I'm doing that. And I'm happier. I'm in a happier place right now. So it seems like I might be coming out of the grief a little bit. And for those that don't know, both of my parents passed away in this year, the same year. But I feel like I'm coming out of that. And I think we're going to play trivia tonight. And I don't think I did anything else. I'm sure I did, but I don't remember and I didn't write it down. If I don't write it down, it didn't happen. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys are having a good reading month and movies and TV. Let me know if you've read anything good or if you've watched anything good lately, and I will chat soon.